Fandoms Anonymous.
This young man, he died fair soon, by the light of the hunter's moon.
What's going on, guys? I hope you're getting ready to watch this video, this review. We'll let you know, if you find the special word in this video, you will win a King Arthur hat. Awesome, right? Yeah. And a King Arthur poster. So, if you find the special word, you will be the winner of this, and I will get it sent to you. You have to drop it in the comments below, and it has to be the word that was in the video, and you'll win these giveaways. Stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the review.
From hunting, faint and weary.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fandoms Anonymous. Man, oh man, oh man, am I here to review a movie for you. I just went to the screening of the King Arthur movie, and yes, in this review I'm going to be doing spoilers. I went to a screening of the King Arthur movie. It was here in my local area. I had a chance to get tickets, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see this movie. It's free. I watched the trailer for King Arthur prior to this, and I was like, okay, interesting movie. In my mind, I wasn't thinking like, I'm going to go see it. I'm definitely going to go see it. Like, it wasn't a definite for me like Power Rangers, Guardians, Spider-Man, Homecoming, Wonder Woman. You know, movies of that nature. It wasn't a definite for me. But I have to tell you that King Arthur, Legend of the Sword is an amazing movie. I even got a King Arthur, Legend of the Sword hat. I'm excited about that as well. And man, the poster is beautiful. Poster is beautiful. Love it. Love everything about the poster. Love everything about this movie. So let's jump right into it. First, let's go over the cast. So, a lot of these people are people I've never heard of before, except for a few. So we got Charlie Hunnam, who played King Arthur. We got Jude Law, who played King Vortigern. We got Eric Bana, Batman, who played Uther Pendragon, which was King Arthur's father. We got Astrid Bergès-Frisbey. And I'm sorry, ma'am, if I pronounced your name wrong, but you are amazing in this movie as the mage. You got Jamin Hansu, always excellent. Jamin Hansu is always great in movies. He was Sir Bedivere. We got Aidan Gillen, who was Goose Fat Bill. And there were a lot of different other people in this movie, but that's just one of, the main cast. And I'm going to get back to some surprises that I saw that I was like, am I seeing something that I think I see, or is it ringing a bell? I'm not totally sure, but we're going to get back to that. So, I went and saw this movie. This screening was being done by Warner Brothers, and it was a serious screening. Now, I go to a lot of screenings. I go to a lot of early showings of movies, maybe a couple weeks out. And normally when I go, there's not a lot of people there. There isn't. So me and my wife, we pull up, and there was a line. And I'm like, oh, people showed up for this movie. And we get in there, we get our tickets, we go to the booth, get our tickets, then we go to the concession stand. And the lady was like, she tapped her, she was like, excuse me, if you two are together, it'd be best if, you guys, one of you goes and get a seat. And I'm like, oh, okay. She said, it's packed in there. And I was like, really? So I get up, I leave my wife, because, she's the concession stand person. Me, I just want, if I go get something to eat at a movie, and especially if I'm at AMC, I want my chicken tenders with my barbecue sauce, and I want a big, stupid, grape Hasi out of the Coke Freestyle machine. Love that grape Hasi. But I'm like, okay, I walk in, and that movie was loaded. We actually sat at the top on the back row, just because I looked for a spot that had an available 2 seats next to each other. So I was shocked. People came out to see this free screening. Now, here's the catch about it. When I went in, I was like, okay, I'm here. We're here. And I get in there, and before I walk in, there are the people there. And anytime you see people in all black, you know it's something serious. So I don't know if they were representatives from WB or not, but when you walked up to them, they're like, "We got to see your ticket stub." They was like, "Keep it on you, because if you leave and go to the bathroom or concessions, you're gonna need it to get back into the movie." I was like, "Oh, this is serious." So I had to go back to the concession line, get my ticket stub, tell my wife to keep her ticket stub so she could get in. So we got in. Like I said, I saw this trailer. This trailer did not give a lot. Another thing was cell phones. You could not have your cell phone out. If you had your cell phone out and it looked like you were doing something, you're going to get kicked out. They can confiscate your device. They can also sue you. You can pay some fines. Like I said, we haven't even got to the movie yet. It was just that experience in itself. So, because I could not have my cell phone, if you know me, I'm a note taker. And with me doing this channel, I have to have notes when I go see certain movies so I can bring you guys back the facts. Now, as I stated before, this is a spoilers review. So I am full-fledged talking about the movie and what happens in it. Now, I have notes. As you can see, I went through this movie. I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. This movie was amazing. Like I said, this movie was not on my radar to go see. I saw a preview for it. I saw some trailers for it. It was not like a definite thing I was going to go see. But this movie had everything. Everything. So let's just start from the beginning. Now, my notes, they're going to be everywhere. I'm going to go in order of my notes, and we're going to talk about some stuff, and I'm going to elaborate on some stuff as well. So, as we all know, this is the story of King Arthur and the knights, but this is the story before to show how King Arthur got to power. Now, they didn't necessarily, may have not necessarily gone exactly by the story that you read in literature back in the day. They created their own universe, which still some of the elements of the King Arthur and the Camelot story, the Knights of the Round Table, all of that good stuff. They created their own universe, and I like that. But what we still go along with is the origins of Merlin. Now, we didn't get to the backstory of Merlin. We never even saw Merlin in the movie, but Merlin is hinted at throughout the movie in itself. So, Merlin created the sword Excalibur for King Arthur's father, Uther Pendragon. Now, he was the king. That's Eric Bana's character. He was the king. Now, at the beginning of the movie, there was this sorcerer, or this other, or sorcerer, just like Merlin, but they were called mages, like if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. And he was coming to attack the castle. Now, let me tell you how they came to attack the castle. This sorcerer had the control over these massive, humongous, 30 billion story elephants. I mean, the biggest elephants you ever seen in your life. Not even normal elephants. And they had these things on their backs that were holding the warriors, that when they finally stormed the castle, they were able to push out the thing, and the warriors were able to just come out and storm the castle. I thought that was psychotic, but amazing. But even the elephants on their trunk, they had ropes with a boulder attached. So when the elephant swung its trunk, it was knocking down buildings, busting down the castle, all of that. I mean, these elephants came and wreaked shop. But he had control over them through magic. There was a lot of magic in this movie. I like that too. I like magic stuff. But the massive elephants were amazing. Now, like I said, King Uther is the father of Arthur. Now, we see where King Uther realizes that it's some ish about to go down. Now, his brother that was played by Jude Law, Vortigern, who ended up becoming king, but we'll get to that later. He felt and knew that his brother was going to betray him. So he decided to go get his wife and go get Arthur and get them to escape. Now, let's go over to Vortigern. Vortigern, who wanted the power, who disagreed with his brother's rule. He said, hey, I disagree. They had a disagreement right before. It was something about going to war with another one of the villages or something. And the brother was like, no, we're not going to do that. The king was like, no, we're not going to do that. So he decided, and it looks like he already had this plotted up. He goes and takes his wife down to this dungeon. He kills his wife and sacrifices his wife to the sirens to get his wish. Now, what happened is the sorcerer that was controlling those elephants' name was Mordred. He decided to make a deal with Mordred, but ended up tricking Mordred in the end, and those two kind of became connected together. So, in order for him to get what he wanted, he had to sacrifice the blood of a loved one. So he killed his wife, sacrificed her body into the lake with the sirens, and they imbued him with this magical power where he was this powerful being. And he decided to go after King Uther. So King Uther was trying to get his wife and Arthur to safety. As he's trying to get them to safety, here comes the brother. Here comes Vortigern. But now he's all powerful. He's flaming. He has this killer skull mask. He has this two-sided scythe where he's just ready for battle. He ends up killing the Arthur's mother, King Uther's wife. She dies. Throws a spear straight through her. So he ends up fighting with Uther. Now Uther has Excalibur. Let's just talk about Excalibur for a moment. Excalibur was so powerful. And Excalibur was forged just for King Uther and his bloodline, which means Arthur would be the next one to be able to control or wield Excalibur. When he touched Excalibur with both hands, he was imbued with a power. I mean, just this raw, immense power. His eyes even turned blue. There was a scene early in the movie when he went and took down Mordred, who was controlling those elephants, where he stormed one of the elephants in one of those structures. He climbed into it and went straight for Mordred. And when he got Excalibur, like I said, that power came on, and he was able to block away Mordred's magic when he was trying to burn him. He just walked straight through it, and just the blue essence from the Excalibur just wielded the shield and all that magic. It was like, get out of here, magic! Get out of here, magic! Magic, yeah. So we see the fight between Vortigern and Uther. Now they're fighting, and I mean they're going at it. I mean, he got Excalibur. Vortigern has his scythe. He has this power. He can throw fireballs, all this good stuff. And Vortigern ends up not necessarily, he didn't defeat him, but he just, he bested him in a sense. So what Uther decides to do is, he kneels down, yields to the fight, throws the sword up in the air. The sword pierces him in his back, runs straight through him. As it did, it turned him into stone, and the stone sunk to the bottom of the river or the ocean. It was just a big body of water. But let's keep moving, and we're gonna get some stuff. We're gonna get back to that. So, King Arthur had kind of baby Arthur had kind of the story like Moses. He was traveling in a boat, and he's just washing up along the shore, and he washed up along the shore in this town, and the people found him. Now, when they found him, they went through a whole growing up scene, and he was a rascal in the neighborhood. He was beating people out of money. He was pickpocketing. He was doing all kind of stuff. Very awesome little, growing up story. I thought it was cool. He had some friends with him. They all became this little petty thieves, these little gang of thieves, tricking folks, and he was storing up this money, man. Every time you look, he would get some money. He was storing it up. And he had this little hide spot for his money. Just the intro alone to this movie was amazing. And this I feel like this review is going to be long. I'm gonna try to get through it as fast as possible, but it's a lot to go over. Let's talk about the music. The music even at the beginning, it just the person, whoever did the score and whoever decided to do this music, the music fit in every single piece of this movie. And when I say every single piece of this movie, the music was in the right spots. It was in the right place. It went along with the tone of the scenes that was going on. All of that. Now, when it got to some of the storytelling, there was a scene where Arthur was talking to one of the rulers, not necessarily the rulers, one of the workers or the soldiers, high in high regards, almost like a sergeant. I think they were called the Blacklegs. He was talking to one of them about something that had happened, and the storytelling was very reminiscent of the Ant-Man. If you remember Michael Pena and Ant-Man, he was like, "Oh, so let me tell you what happened." So there was this thing, and then he was narrating the story, and even as he was narrating the story in the other scene, the words that he was saying that we overheard, the person in the scene was saying as well. So I thought that was cool. Went back to that it definitely reminded me of Ant-Man. The comedy in this movie was awesome. I wasn't expecting comedy. I'm gonna be honest. What this movie gave me, I was not expecting this at all. I was not expecting what they gave me in this movie. I wasn't expecting comedy. I wasn't expecting the action that I got. When I hear King Arthur and Camelot, I think of the whole, oh, we're the Knights of the Round Table and cheers, get these big beers. And I think of that. But this movie gave a lot. So it also had the Lion King vibe. Father dies. Prodigal son returns to take over the kingdom. Crazy uncle. It definitely had the Lion King vibe. Now, like I said, the sword Excalibur was so powerful. We got to see so many different action scenes with the sword being wielded. Like, we'll definitely get back to that. But as Arthur was growing up, he was raised in a brothel. If you don't know what a brothel is, it's a place where the prostitutes are. You can come and you can get out, So, another thing was the costuming in this movie. The costuming was great. It gave off each scene that they had, just the costuming, the armor for the people in the kingdom, and Jude Law. When he finally became king, or when he was king, he had this clean white fur and this black armor with the chain mesh around his neck and his head. Brother was clean. Jude Law's King Vortigern was clean. He had the best of the best of the best. There was a good pace to this movie. That movie was very well paced. It didn't leave you lost. It didn't jump back and forth and have you like, okay, what happened here? What happened there? There was a very awesome pace to the movie. Now, let's talk about the mage. The mage could control animals just like the other mage, Mordred, could. She was able to control animals, and when she came on the scene, she was sent by Merlin. Now, we didn't actually see Merlin, but we're going to guess that because I'm going to guess or theorize that Merlin is either dead but still has some type of magical presence or some type of force, or he's still alive and he's somewhere hidden and old, kind of like they did Xavier and Logan. But the mage came on the scene. Like I said, she was so powerful with her magic that she was using, being able to control animals, all of that. Like I said, this movie had a real good Ant-Man feel to it. It really reminded me of Ant-Man. It totally blew my expectations of what it gave me. Like I said before, I was not expecting. The casting was great as well. Everybody in every role that was in it was perfect. I didn't see anything with any roles that people played. Even his buddies that he grew up with. We got Backlack, and he had a son named Blue, and we had Westick, and then he even had George, which was a kung fu master. Now the kung fu situation, and he was Chinese or Oriental. I don't like to try to guess, like it's trying to call me Jamaican, or just because my skin is black don't mean I'm Jamaican, or you know how this stuff goes. But the diversity in this movie was exponentially awesome. Like, it was so many different races and people of color, and just it was amazing. It was not whitewashed at all. Even though King Arthur was Caucasian, but the rest of the movie it was just people of all different races spread throughout the entire movie. It kind of reminded me going on a cruise ship. If you ever been on a cruise, especially Carnival, there are people of all different races, creeds, nationalities, cultures that work on cruise ships, and they're all so nice and pleasant. Love cruises. I need to go on another cruise. The fact that, and this was a different telling. We always get the story of the sword and the stone, Excalibur. You got to pull the sword out, blah blah blah. But how the stone was created, with the fact that when the father threw the Excalibur up, and he knelt down, and the sword went straight into his back, he turned into the stone, and it sunk to the bottom of the ocean. I had never seen that type of storytelling of Excalibur and the stone, or the sword and the stone, like that before, and I thought that was excellent. Let's see. The uncle killed his wife too. Like I said, he killed his wife just to get power. And I thought that was like, man, you want power that bad? You want to be king that bad? You kill your own wife? I was like, oh, I couldn't kill my wife. She was sitting right there next to me watching the movie. Like I said, it was amazing retelling of this story. Definitely amazing retelling. I love the way that they told this story. I expected this to be a very serious movie. And like I said, it had you laughing, it had you suspenseful with stuff going on, and that's what you want from a movie. The fighting styles, there were so many different fighting styles, from your brute strength to your kung fu to it was overall, like I said, it was a movie not just diverse as far as people, but diverse as far as elements. When it comes to the comedy, when it comes to the action scenes, when it comes to how the movie was directed, how the framing of the movie was, the cinematography, it was just very diverse, very different. I love this movie. I really did. Like I said, I could keep saying it was not on my radar. It was definitely not on my radar. Now, one thing that happened to Arthur when they first tried to Vertigan, I keep saying his name, King Vertigan, which was his uncle. When they brought Arthur and another group of people, they were testing people out to see if they could pull the sword. And he ended up getting taken on one of the boats to go see if he could pull the sword. He immediately went straight to it, pulled it out. Now what they wanted to do was try to kill him. He ended up getting away with the help of the mage and with the help of others who were working as far as the resistance is concerned, who wanted to stop King Vortigern. So the mage realized, like, hey, he can't wield this sword. Every time he would put both hands on the sword and the power would start to try to imbue him, he would pass clean out. I mean, pass out. Another thing about Arthur, man, he was just Charlie Hunnam. I've heard his name float around before, but there's probably some stuff I might have seen that he was in. But he was just amazing. They casted the right King Arthur. He was witty. He was funny. He knew when to be serious. He knew how to handle business, and I love that about him and his Arthur character. But the mage decided he needs to go to the Darklands, and it was like Jamin Hansu, Sir Beldevere's Jamin Hansu's character was like, he can't go to the Badlands, the Darklands, and then the scene flipped, and it was like, you're going to the Darklands, and everybody in the movie started laughing because it was, like I said, it was the comedy was there, the pacing of the comedy and the timing of the comedy was great, especially to be a serious movie. If you're going to be a serious movie and have comedy, you got to have good pacing for the comedy. So he goes to these Darklands, and man, it's like where the wild things are. These big rats, these big bats with legs and claws, big snakes. And he's catching hell in the Darklands because, number one, he's learning how to wield a sword. He's learning how to take care of himself. And what the mage said was, this is a big role for him, and he's not thinking big. So why not give him something to think big about? And like I said, it was like one of those things. It was like either put up or shut up. And like I said, he had to fight those things and to survive because they were gonna kill him. I mean, they were slaying him off the rocks, throwing him around everywhere, beating him down, all that good stuff. So he left the Darklands with a better sense and mindset of the power of the sword. Now, there was a scene where he went to, they caught Backlack. King Vertigan caught Backlack. And you have Backlack's son, Blue. Backlack was one of his cronies, his guys that he grew up with. You have Backlack, Weststick, and a lot of other guys that, they were running, petty thieves, running the gang, the boys that he was growing up with in the brothel. Backlack got stabbed when they were trying to escape. They tried to do an assassination of the king. Backlack got stabbed, and he wasn't going to make it. He wasn't going to make it the rest of the base, the rest of the movie, the rest of the trip. He was going to die. So his son, Blue, was like dedicated to him. Got to keep up with my dad. Got to follow my dad. Got to make sure my dad's okay. So they were getting ready to get on the boat, and Backlack knew the spot to go meet them when they were running away. And Blue was like, no, I got to go save my father. So he takes off running. Arthur goes after him. Vertigan is in Backlack's in the spot where Backlack was hiding, and Blue comes in, and he was like, who is this guy to you? He was like, never seen him before in my life, sir. He was like, you lied to me? He's like, no, sir, I just came to wash the dishes. And then he said, so you wouldn't mind if I cut his ear off? He said, it was not my ear, sir. I don't have the ear out of it. That was hilarious. The little kid was very funny. But as he went to go chop his ear off, the son screamed and was like, no, don't do it. but Vertigan did it anyway. And then this is where the comedy comes in. It wasn't a funny moment, but he cuts his ear off, puts his ear up to his. Now he's holding his ear in his hand, and he was like, "And now you're gonna tell me where Arthur is?" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" Then he just cut this man's ear off, and then talking to it. Now when he came in, once he cut his ear off, Arthur busted in there, and he was like, "Oh no, this ain't about to go down. You're not about to kill my boy." So he takes one of his people hostage, and he has a knife to their throat. But Vertigan goes on and kills Backlash. And that just destroyed Blue. It destroyed Arthur. It destroyed the tone of the movie at that time. And not in a bad way. It was just like the movie became somber. Now, in a lot of different superhero movies, a lot of different hero movies, or, stepping up to make the right decision type movies like that, there's always a point where when you have a certain power, you have a certain responsibility, you don't want it anymore. So he went to the edge of a cliff and threw the sword off the cliff. And the sword went into the water. Now, the lady of the lake got the sword, and she pulled him down in the water and showed him some things. Like, hey, this is what's going to happen if you do not help. If you do not take this sword and do what your birthright calls you to do. If you don't take this sword and do what it is that you're supposed to do to help these people, help your people. So it was like an epiphany moment for him, and he went ahead, took the sword, and she gave the sword back to him, and he went on with everything. So then he decided to come up with the plan of how they were going to stop Vertigan. He's like, we're going to go through the front door, point blank, period. First of all, let's talk about the sirens, and this is something me and my wife were joking about. You had the 3 sirens. You had 2 nice, slender, pretty sirens, and then you had this one big Ursula-looking siren. She definitely reminded you of Ursula. And I was like, every time she came on, she had this big. No, imagine Jabba the Hutt as a woman. I'll put it like that. Jabba the Hutt as a woman, and she had this big boisterous voice, like, yeah, to pay the price in order to get what you want. And I was like, man, this lady look like she work in the cafeteria. Like she's supposed to work in the cafeteria. So at this point, Arthur is like, we gotta go save everybody. Call to action. We gotta go do this. We gotta go save the people. Come up with a plan. They're ready to storm the castle, ready to do what it is that they have to do with the help of the mage. They were able to storm the castle, and the mage controlled this big giant python. It reminds you of the basilisk from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, but bigger and with a big head. I mean, the head is bigger than this shield. So just going around, just chomping folks up, all that good stuff. So once Vertigan realized that he was made, once he realized, like, shoot, this might be the end, he goes and finds his daughter, just like he found his wife in the beginning of the movie, and was like, I'm sorry, I love you. He kills her. He sacrifices her to the sirens, just so he can get that power again that he had in order to battle with Arthur. And I was like, really? You just killed your bloodline. Anybody else, if you die, everybody else gone. You had a wife, you had a daughter, and you killed her. So, one thing I noticed about the sword Excalibur is when it's being used, it definitely takes you into another mindset. Like I said, those eyes turn blue, and it's like he has a different level of power. That first scene when he first had total control of the sword, and he took out all those black legs. I mean, he took them out one by one, knocked them out, took them out, and everybody else was just standing there like, everybody else see that? And it was like this whole time after he beat them all, and there was this cloud of dust, and he was just running through them like bam, wham, wham. Real good CGI, by the way. And like I said, at the finish, he was just breathing hard. He was like, so just imagine hearing that in the movie. It does something to you. And then looking at everybody else just looking around like, you saw that? I didn't know I saw. Did you see that? I didn't see that. Did you see that? And then you even had people that were in the rafters, like at their homes, looking at their windows, like, "Did I just see what I thought I just saw, DJ? Hey, Suzanne, come here. Did you see this? That guy, he just fought all the black legs." You know what I'm saying? It was funny. It was funny. I mean, everybody in that movie theater was laughing. It's always good if you go see a good movie when everybody's in there, everybody's having a good time, everybody's laughing and joking. But we're getting towards the end, and there's this Mufasa moment where it's like, you know, he has this moment where he finally gets the deep connection with the sword. He gets the deep connection of why he has to do what it is that he has to do. And it started off with the battle between him and Vertigan. And he had this power. He had the mask and the flames throwing fireballs. And he bested him in the fight. And he thought he was dead. And he was like, the sword is mine now. And Arthur went back with his hand still on the sword. He went back into this memory, and he was able to see everything that had happened that night with that fight where his mother was killed, the father, because like I said, throughout the movie we kept getting glimpses of it, but we got to see the full spread of exactly what happened. And like I said, the mother was killed, and we get to see how the father became the sword and the stone. And what he did, what he said was, "Son, the sword is yours now." And like I said, it was like that Mufasa moment where Mufasa came to the clouds to Simba, "Father, what do I do?" You know, all that good stuff. And once he said the sword is his, the sword lit up again. It brought him back to life, and he continued to fight Vertigan, and he finally defeated Vertigan. And I was like, wow, this would be an amazing boss battle in a video game. Like, if there was a King Arthur video game, I would go buy the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox to play it, because it's just the storytelling. And it was a long movie too. Like, the movie started at 7. It was when we got out there and I turned my phone on. It was like 9:10, almost 9:15. But overall, man, there was a lot that happened in this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just realized this review is almost 30. It's right at 30 minutes long. It was a lot. It was a good movie. I'm not lying to you. It was a good movie. Now, when you always see good movies like this, the question always comes: sequel? Can there be a sequel? And as the movie continued to end, I was like, nah, there ain't gonna be no sequel. Not gonna be a sequel. But we get to a point where we get to see the true nature of Camelot, and Arthur is building a round table. Now, here's the funny thing about it. When his guys came in, Goose Fat Bill was hilarious as well. I forgot to touch on Goose Fat Bill. Goose Fat Bill and Westick, and George, and all his other friends that he grew up with, you know, of course they're now got his back. They was like, "What is this, a big wheel of cheese? You know, how did you get it in here? Did you wheel it in or what?" So he was like, "No, it's a table. It's a table. You know, we're going to sit at it. You sit at it." So he ends up knighting everybody. He ends up being knighted as king, or king as King Arthur. And it made me think, there could be a sequel. I would want to see a sequel, and I would want to see a new adventure, something with the Knights of the Round Table, because that's what they are now. They're the Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur. And I think there could be some type of new adventure, some type of new threat. Vertigan could possibly come back, or Mordred, the mage, or something could come back. You never really know, and I would definitely go see it. I wouldn't question the trailers. It would be on my radar to go see that movie if they did a sequel. There were also Vikings in this movie, like Vikings, like real deal Vikings. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, you know, and for what it's worth, it's always good to be able to go see certain things. Always good to be able to see screenings. I got relaxed now. I've been talking so long, but I enjoyed this movie. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword was an amazing movie. It was a good storytelling. It was very well directed by Guy Ritchie. And hats off to the cast. Hats off to the crew of this movie. This movie was good. Please go see this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed watching. But guys, as I always say, welcome to Fandoms Anonymous. Forgot to introduce myself. Thank you for watching. I don't even know what to say. I normally got a script after this. Oh, I always say, if you don't know who we are, we're Fandoms Anonymous. That's FANDOMSANONYMOUS. We're all over social media. We're on YouTube where you're watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to get notifications of new videos. We're also on Facebook. Join the Facebook group. Join our discussions. And don't forget to like the Facebook fan page. Also go over to Instagram where we're at Fandoms_Anonymous17. And don't forget to go over to Twitter at Anonymous_Fan17. If you watched the beginning of the video, I did say that there will be some giveaways going on. So if you did find the word, the missing word, or no, it's not missing. You got to find it. It was there. It was here in this video. So if you found it, drop it in the comments below. You will win a giveaway that you saw in the beginning of this video. But guys, as I always say, if there is anything else, thanks for watching and have a good one.
Young